do you foresee that there's any problems being there as a team? I mean, because although you're running the platform effectively out of the country, you are in the country while it's running. Is that in any way a conflict of interest for being there?
Not really. So our team, for example, Renee, our founder, she has a background from Google. Like she worked at Google Japan, Google Dublin, Google Ireland, and she helped apps monetize worldwide. So she has a very strong Google background. This is kind of like an off-topic thing, but she actually is super smart. She's probably one of the smartest people I've ever met. She went to Peking University, first of all, which is like the Harvard of China.
Yeah.
And she studied psychology there. And so at the time, she had a boyfriend who was taking a computer science class, and he didn't know how to do some homework there. So she asked her to help, and then she learned programming on her own to help him do his homework. So that's how smart our founder is. She's like one of the smartest people there is.
Wow.
And so that's why, I mean, she's just really great. I love her. You know what I mean.
Yeah. Thanks for clarifying.
We get it.
Yeah,
just to clarify,
I'm not going to listen to this episode and have any concerns at all. It's all good with us, Calvin. Don't you worry. We're not telling anybody.
Since this is public, I just had to clarify because my wife might listen to it as well.
Well, if your wife is listening, just tell her that, well, she can hear it from us. Thank you very much for allowing your lovely husband to spend a late evening in Beijing joining us and telling us all about, how you've dragged him to China, because actually I think he's really happy there. So it's really cool.
Yeah, I'm having a great time here. It's great. So what were we just talking about? I'm trying to think. So we have a really strong tech team, and some of the other founders, another one is also from Google. She has a very strong marketing background, and she did a lot of ad buying and traffic buying for Google. And then our CTO for CastBox, he was one of the first Android developers in China. And he has a very strong tech background. He used to work for Motorola, for Borix. He, led huge teams. He was, tech lead for those. So we have a very strong tech background, and I think that's why we wanted to focus on the overseas market.
Right.
CastBox as an app, it's not available in China unless you use a VPN. So most of our users come from, like the US, Europe, and then we also have a presence in Korea and Japan. So our users are basically all outside of China.
Sure.
How interesting. Really cool.
Yeah. How does CastBox make money? Or does it?
It doesn't.
Okay.
It doesn't at the moment. We're still using up our seed, not like our fundraising money. So
Sure.
We've raised over about $30 million already. And so right now we're not profitable, but we do have a couple of ways that we're exploring. Mm-hmm. So the traditional way, obviously advertising. So, you guys know, you read in audio ads. That's what, let me take a step back. There's two types of advertising. So one is from the banner ads. So when you open the app, that type of ad that displays, you can earn money that way. And then for the podcasters, you have your in audio ads. So any, audio reads that you do. So with our CastBox originals, that's one thing that we're exploring, is that some of them are doing pretty well. They have a lot of listens. So they're reading audio ads in there, and then we're splitting the revenues 50-50.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah. And it's still kind of difficult. You need a lot of listens. I mean, what we calculated, it's like 75 to 100,000 listens to break even. So you kind of need to be a pretty popular podcaster. But it's something that we're working on.
Anybody that wants to advertise could advertise on the platform, and in doing so, you can monetize that way by them spending money to advertise their own content.
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I think even for the people that we're working with, they have their own social channels that they're promoting the podcast. So it's helping a lot. But in terms of a business model, we're still trying to figure it out.
Sure. I know it's a new space in there. I recently read an article that at least it compared you to Netflix for podcasters. Is that kind of more of where you're eventually trying to head? Is like that Netflix subscription where you're spending $10 a month and just have access to all this really cool content?
Yep, exactly. So recently we announced a partnership with Wondery. So they're going to have exclusive content. It's pretty good podcast. You can go check it out. I think we just made an announcement a couple days ago. And they're going to have its own paywall. It's going to be exactly like you said, maybe something like $5 a month, and then you get access to all these exclusive content.
Who did you say the partnership was with?
Wondery. So Wondery, and the promotion is called Wondery Plus.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can check it out.
Yeah, well, we'll put this in the description down below for the YouTubers who are listening in, and of course, we just like to help people who are watching, but those who are listening, of course, we'll just want to be able to reference this later. That's why we always ask all the details of this so that people can find all the different information.
Got it.
Yeah. So on a completely separate note, Yuri, you want to ask something? Just
waiting at the end of this one. Sure. We're waiting at the end of this one. So Calvin, do you use Bitcoin to buy anything, or have you been able to buy anything with Bitcoin?
So, you asked me earlier how I got into crypto or like Bitcoin. So the reason I purchased Bitcoin around like the beginning of 2017 was to play poker. So I'm a big poker player. Like I love playing poker.
Cool.
I play a lot of Omaha. Omaha's my game. I can play Hold'em, but I really love Omaha. And at the time, like, obviously in the US, I can't transfer money from my bank account. So I was like, maybe I'll check out this thing called Bitcoin, because some of these US casinos, like, they can accept it. Mm-hmm. And so that was the first purchase I made using Bitcoin. And then, of course, when I made the transfer, it got blocked. And then I was like, okay, great, this didn't work. But that's how I got into it, actually. And then I started doing more research about it.
How crazy. So you actually transferred Bitcoin to a casino to try to buy chips, but the transaction didn't go through?
Yeah, they ended up finding out like my identity, and then I guess they're like, "Oh, you're." So that's I don't know why. I don't know why it got blocked. Maybe it was because my IP address was from China. I don't know why. I thought it was really weird.
Oh, do you remember what site it was?
Oh my gosh, I have to look it up because I never played on it, so I don't really remember. But it's one of the bigger sites that's online right now.
It's for online gambling as opposed to being in the casino itself.
Oh yeah, online gambling. Gambling. Like I used to play at Full Tilt and PokerStars a lot, and
sure.
Yeah, I used to do that, and then obviously Black Friday happened, and then I was like, okay, I'm done with online poker for now.
You ever played in any poker tournaments?
I played in the WSOP when I first turned 21. Played in a couple of Omaha tournaments, but I didn't cash.
I tell you, I love poker as well. And the one time I played in a tournament, the guy sitting next to me was cheating, and
what? Really?
Yes, and nobody seemed to catch on to what he was doing except me, and I got pissed off with it. And it was like I didn't want to be a jerk at the table saying anything, but I don't know how the people that were seeing, because it was just a tournament and they had people walking around checking to make sure everybody was playing like legitimately. But
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
It was really
how was
weird.
he cheating?
You know what? This was so many years ago. I can't remember exactly what happened, but I just remember the guy sitting there doing something with the cards, and I was like, there's something really weird going on here. And because as we've talked about this before, Yuri, because I've done magic before, I'm fairly tuned into sleight of hand things.
Yeah.
So when I see things, the hand moves really quick or does something strange, I was like, I think he was actually pocketing cards and holding on to them or doing something. And I can't be exactly sure what was going on, but I saw something where I knew he had more than the number of cards he's supposed to have in his hands. And he was so good with holding the cards and moving them. From what I can recall, it was something along those lines that he was able to do some really clever moves with his hands. And it was annoying because I saw it and no one else did. And I was like, what do I do at the table? Do I say like, excuse me, this guy's cheating over here? Because by the time
you definitely should have brought it up.
Yeah, but it was just it was like a very junior tournament. It was no big deal. So I thought,
oh sure,
you know what? I'm just gonna walk away.
Yeah, man, I never would have let that fly.
Dare I say it was about 20 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Now, today, if you'd ask me, I would be like, no way, I'm not standing for that. But we all grow and change over time. And, I've gone through my own growth journey. If you'd asked me 20 years ago to get on a podcast or a YouTube channel, there's absolutely no way I would have done anything like this. But I've gone through my journey. I'm here now. My personality has grown and blossomed enough that I can get out here and do crazy stuff. And I certainly wouldn't put up with people like sitting there cheating. I'd be like calling it out, going, cheater!
Right?
Yeah, for sure.
But I love poker as well, so we'll have to play online sometime, like organize like a coin chat, poker global competition, and we'll have to name a table or something crazy, and the winner gets.
Oh, dude, I would definitely be down for that. Definitely invite me and let me know if you guys host a tournament.
Well, we'll just put it this way: anybody else who really wants to get in on a poker competition, the coin chat poker competition, just put the word yes down in the comments below of this video on YouTube, and we'll get in touch with you and figure out a way to make it happen, because why not? Make it fun.
That sounds great. I can't wait. I haven't played poker in a couple, probably in about 2 years. I mean, they have poker sites in China.
Yeah.
There's a lot of underground poker as well, because gambling is technically illegal. But yeah, I haven't really found a good game recently.
Well, we should start that then.
Yeah, I used to play. In fact, when now we're really going back a ways, because I'm going to age myself tremendously here. But I used to play poker in high school. It was like these late night get together with friends. Start at 10 o'clock at night, get the pizzas in, get the chips, potato chips, whatever you want to call them, and we would just sit there until 2, 3, 4 in the morning, until eventually we just couldn't keep our eyes open anymore, and then we'd all drive home.
It sounded like my high school, actually.
Yeah, that was about the only time I was allowed to stay out late, was because my parents knew I was at someone's house and we were playing poker, so it was no big deal. And even like when I went to university, same thing. Just we'd all drive someplace and do the same. It was like 3, 4, 5 in the morning playing poker. And then eventually we got smart enough to realize we could just go to Vegas. We'll just do that instead, because it's far more exciting, and then just do it for the whole weekend. So,
well, there's also a lot of other activities in Vegas.
That has certainly evolved a lot as well. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Not that I would know anything about that. I'm being a married guy, and my wife's going to listen and going, "You were talking about what on the podcast?"
maybe we should talk more about like our project, because this might not end up well for both of us. Yuri, are you married? Yeah, Yuri, are you married?
I'm not married. Also, Vegas is very family friendly.
You know what, Calvin? We could just turn this on Calvin now, on Yuri now. Just start asking him questions about relationships and
knock yourselves out. There's the Blue Man Group, all the Cirque du Soleil stuff in Vegas. I don't know what you guys do in Vegas, but that's what I do. Siegfried, well, actually, they're not around anymore. But
no, not after one of them got eaten.
Yeah, that's a bad example. But
yeah. You know how to kill conversations, don't you, Yuri?
I do. Everybody is welcome.
Where are we going?
Exactly.
You're inviting us to your private island where we're going to play Crypto Island, I think you said you're calling it, and we're going to be able to go there and play crypto poker.
Sure. All donations are welcome for the Crypto Island. Actually, so speaking of islands, there's one that's for sale, actually. It's the one that was featured in Parts of the Caribbean for only $86 million. It's in the Caribbean, somewhere south of like Puerto Rico.
Only 86 million.
Only 86 million.
Sounds really cheap.
Do you know anybody that could afford that?
No, I don't. But maybe one of our listeners can.
I'll have to pass this over to a few finance guys and see what they can come up with. Maybe we can do a finance deal on this, and then we could help launch CastBox FM on the island and make it like Castaway Box instead.
Yeah, it's like already they've got like 7 houses built on there. It comes with its own super yacht. It's pretty well set
so
up.
It's not really for castaways anymore then. It's already moved on. Sorry about that, Calvin. You're out. Yeah. We're going to find someone else now.
All right, that's fine.
Oh no, we'll still include you in the whole. We'll play. I'm more interested in playing poker than going to the island.
Yeah. Poker for sure.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome. So is there anything else you'd like to tell us about it with the platform? I know we kind of gone all over the place having a bit of a laugh here, but I mean, is there anything else about ContentBox or Castaway, I'm sorry, CastBox.fm or
Wilson? Sorry, did you hear that? Oh my gosh. I was just talking about that scene in our Telegram group. I was so sad. I cried when he was calling for Wilson.
It was sad. That was his friend.
Yeah, it was his only friend, and it was like the only conversation he had in the movie.
Yeah.